So we need to know the difference between when we factor and when we solve what's factored. So in this first section, it's just factoring. We're just factoring the expressions. Notice there are no equal signs in any of these expressions. So we're just trying to get it in those two sets of parentheses, or sometimes one set of parentheses. So the first thing we always look for is there a GCF? So GCF is a number that can divide into all three. 3 can actually divide out of all of them for number 6. So if I divide out this 3 doesn't disappear, it has to go out in front. And then 30 divided by 3 leaves me with 10. 87 divided by 3 is 29. And then 30 divided by 3 is also 10. Okay, so now this trinomial here, trinomial means we have these 3 terms, we're going to factor. So off to the side, I do the first times the last, so it's 100x squared, and then the middle number goes in the bottom, so negative 29x. You're trying to think of two numbers that will multiply to give you the top and add to give you the bottom. So in this example, negative 25x and negative 4x would work. If you have troubles thinking of two factors, you want to make a list of factors of the top number. Don't make a list of things that add up to this bottom number because that's going to be a long list. But this one, you want to make a list of just all your factors. So there's two different ways that we can do it. The first way I'll show is the grouping method. So so for the grouping method, I have this 3 that I factored out, the GCF, and this 10x squared, we're just replacing this b value. So I'll have 10x squared, and we're replacing the b value with these two numbers that we found over here. So instead of writing negative 29x, I'm going to write minus 25x and minus 4x, and then plus 10 on the end here. Okay, there's 4 terms here, and we break them up into 2 groups. So here's my first group, and here's my second group. Now we try to think of a GCF from the first group. I know 5 can go into both of these numbers, and both of them have an x. So I'm going to divide 5x out from both. This number again doesn't disappear, it goes out in front. So I'm left with 2x minus 5. So for the next one here, I know I could divide 2 out from both. So I divide both by 2. But take a look at the signs. I have negative 4 and positive 10. So we want the next set of parentheses to also be positive 2x and minus 5. So that means I'll have to take out a negative 2. So negative divided by negative, well, I'll write the negative 2 here. So negative divided by negative is 2x. 10 divided by negative 2 would be minus 5. Now I just write it into that factored form. I take these two numbers and put them in a set of parentheses, 5x minus 2. And what repeats, I just write it out once, 2x minus 5. Okay, the other method we can use is the box method. Okay, so for the box method, we're using these numbers again, but we just organize the numbers differently into a box. Always use the expression after you took out your GCF, so I'm using what's in the parentheses here. This first number always goes in the top left, and this last number goes in the bottom right. Now for these two squares, I use these two numbers from here. So I'll have negative 25x and negative 4x. Always be careful not to use all 4 of these numbers, because we don't want to use the top or bottom. We just use these numbers to figure out 2 numbers to replace the b value. So now for the box method, we look at the first column to figure out the GCF. So something that can divide into both of these would be 5, and they both have x. And the next column, the GCF, would be 2. 2 can go into 4, and 2 can go into 10. Here I have 10 and 4, so 2 would be my GCF again, and they both have an x. And then down here, between 25 and 10 would be 5. Now we just have to check our signs. 5 times 2 gives me positive 10, so I know both of these will stay positive. But 2 times 2, we need it to be negative 4, so I'll make the second 2 negative. 5 times 5 would give me positive 25, so I need to make this one negative. And then now when I have negative times the negative, I get that positive 10. So when you use the box method, you always have to take out the GCF, and just don't forget it at the end. So we took out 3. I have 5x minus 2, and then 2x minus 5. But for factoring, this is our final answer, just that set of parentheses.